has invested will continue to work for him. He can go and sleep, and that investment will continue to work for him. And even if in the event of death, and the company, by virtue of the establishment that created it, is a going concern, the children unborn of Dangote will still continue to take dividend from that industry. So it is important we should know that for us to have a legacy fund, a legacy investment, it must be an income generating one. 2, it must be legacy minded. That is, this investment we are about to invest on must be a generational thing. A generational thing. 1, if you invest on car, is car investment or a liability? Is it an asset or liability? Is car asset or liability? Car is a liability. If you invest money on car, you are investing in liability. But if you invest your money in building a house, if you build a house with 10 million naira today, in the next 5 years, if you revalue the cost of that building, it will worth more than 50 million. And that's to tell you, building a house is an asset. Some of us, when we want to build a personal house, we just build a bogus building. That when the children are no more at home, when we have empty nest, there is nobody to maintain that building. We have seen cases of some of the past African leaders who have invested in nothing that will not grant them a legacy. I will give us 2 examples. There was a case of one popular musician in Nigeria, and somebody, a banker. During the 8 days of that musician, he was very popular and he made it big. So the first money, the first 20 million he realized, he just used the money to build a house. After some time, he now found out that the house he built, he couldn't maintain them again. And he started having problems in maintaining that property. The other person, who was a young banker, established a bank. And today, that bank is one of the best and biggest banks in Africa. And that investment of 20 million, the 2 of them started with 20 million. The banker investment is worth almost 400 billion naira now. While the musician is battling, is struggling to make and ends meet. And people have even forgotten his name. That's to tell you the difference between a legacy investment and a flashy investment. Then we have biblical foundations for investment. I want to quote Proverbs 6:6. He said, "Go to the hand, you sluggard. Consider its ways and be wise." What is hand? Most of us knows hand. Hand is a very tiny insect. During the rainy season, they become an endangered species because they have problem with heavy rain. As soon as rain falls, it will just sweep them away. So in order to avoid crisis for their life, during dry season, they ensure that they store their houses with enough food that will take care of them throughout the rainy season. And so during the rainy season, you hardly see them going out because they know they are endangered species. So they work very hard, store the food, and continue to invest in more food until the rainy season comes. This was for me and yours and everyone seated here. There is a need for us to invest to ensure that when the time comes, when we can no more work, our investment will be working for us. Then, still, a component of biblical foundation is about stewardship also. When you are giving something, God that gave you that opportunity wanted an account from us. What have we made of the opportunity that God has given unto us? How have we invested that opportunity to make the life others around us to be blessed. God is looking for somebody that is carrying that responsibility, that will say, yes, Lord, I'm ready to do your will. I'm ready to impart the life of others around me, and I'm ready to impart the generations that are coming behind me. Then two, somebody that must be interested in a legacy investment must also have a foresight. Like the way Pastor, I've gained a lot from him. When land was 2 and 6, I bought a small land somewhere, even though despite the fact that I was played out, because they find out that the land that I bought for 780,000 has risen up to 10 million naira. So they started playing a Seneniga game just to scheme him out. But at the end of the day, I was able to recover part of it. In spite of all their Seneniga, I was able to recover some things. When you know, when you buy a land cheap, or you buy an investment cheap, you are having a vision that tomorrow this thing will appreciate. Let me invest there. You invest because of your vision. You do what others are not interested in. What others are not interested in, that is what you do. You participate in a scheme that when others are no more interested, they say, this thing, I don't have interest in it. Then you show interest in that thing you are doing. So it is important that children of God must be. Unfortunately, the phone to me disappointed me. There must be no. My phone decided not to read the PowerPoint that I prepare, and it started shortly when I got to this place. That's the funny part of it. Okay, your time, Yakuru. Sorry, sir, for the break in transmission. So, okay. Now I'm playing that. Then two, it's about multiplying our talent. The parable of talent, we all understand what it means in Matthew 25, verse 14 to 28. When you are given a talent, don't bury it. Use the talent positively so that when the owner of that talent comes, it will give you more reward. So whenever we have opportunity of investing, we must not waste the opportunity. God is looking out for somebody that wanted to invest this our talent today. Why focus on legacy income? Why are we focusing on legacy income? Legacy income, cash flow that supports your values long after you stop working. Something that supports your way of life. I want to be rich. I don't want my way of life. I don't want to diminish my way of life. What can I invest on that when I stop working, my standard of living will not depreciate? And that's what we call legacy income. So, because that standard of living will now give you peace of mind. You will not be afraid of retirement. You will not be afraid of family commitment. You will not be afraid of your great grandchildren. Even if they come by a person and they want something from you, you will not be afraid of them. Then there is this principle of kingdom impact. The person that does not have will not give anybody anything. If you don't have, you don't give what you don't have. But if somebody is well blessed, you can impart the children of God. in your midst. Matthew 25 from 34 downward. He said, when you can do to any one of these people, when I'm hungry, you give me food. When I'm naked, you give me clothes. When I'm in prison, you stay with me. You relate with me. And he said, Lord, when have we done all these things to you? He said, if you can do it to any of these people. So when you are rich, you can impart the life of many people. You can impart the life of many people. But if you are in the lower ladder of the rung, below the poverty rate, there's no way you can impart the life of anybody. And if you are able to impart the life of somebody today, and you lift that person up from poverty to prosperity, then it will be recorded for you in the book of God that this person has done this for somebody, for one of my people. So then, primary vehicles for monumental wealth. How do we do legacy income? What are the primary vehicles that we can make use of? There are 4 of them here. We have real estate, which has been mentioned. Real estate, it is tangible and value appreciating generational. It appreciates in value. The cost of a building today will not be the same thing tomorrow. That is the truth. That is the truth. And it keeps on appreciating. Those people that built hostel, the private hostel at OAU, last year they gave out private hostel for 250,000 naira per bed space. This year they are considering increasing it to 300,000. I don't know whether the student will still allow them, but they are already contemplating because they want to increase their income. Details for other investments in real estate. Land being a factor of production. One attribute about land is that it does not increase from the way God has created it. Ever since God created the world, land size has not changed. It remains the same. So it is now left for people who are strategic investors that knows the value of those land, that will now go there and invest. For people that will need it tomorrow, because they know that land can never be increased. It is only God that created land, and it's a means of production, and it's also a factor of production, and it doesn't increase. It's inelastic, so you cannot increase it. So because of that, the price of land will continue to increase until the kingdom of God comes. So somebody, I will give us an example. Somebody bought a land some years back, about maybe 25,000 naira. After some time, Professor Awo Yale will know about it. It's around our area. The land that was bought for about 14,000 naira was later sold for 14 million naira. So there is no way land price will ever decrease. More so when you have a foresight of event happening. For example, they are talking about Lagos-Calabar Express Road now. Some wise investors will now be parading that axis. They will be looking for land because they know as soon as that road is completed, the land around that axis will become a gold mine. So people who are interested now, who are good investors, will now go there when the land are cheap. But as soon as that road is completed, believe me sincerely, from Lagos to Calabar, all the stretch of the land will be very, very expensive. So for somebody that wanted to make money out of that system, this is the time for us to do so. Then 2, dividend stock. As Prof had mentioned the other time, there are dividend stock that we can lay our hands on. And it has strategies. There are 2 strategies to it. For people who have studied accounting and who has privileged information about the internal management control of each of the public liability companies, before they will do their AGM, and you have privileged information to their AGM report, you can get their shares. Because as soon as they declare dividend for their shareholders, the price of the stock of that company will rise. So for those people that wanted to invest, it is appropriate for them to look at the time they are going to do their AGM. You must know the accounting year, the accounting period for which they will do their business, they will do their AGM, so that you can quickly buy their shares and quickly dispose it immediately after, and you would have made your money. If you make 1 naira on 1 million units of shares, you have made 1 million naira within a space of 2 days. You can make your profit. Then 2, there are some people that keep stock as value, a store of value. They store it for the future of their money. For example, if they buy shares today at 4 naira per unit of shares, after some years, the shares will appreciate in value. Unlike what happened in 2009, when we have financial meltdown all over the world, when people started committing suicide, and some of our big business people play a fast one on us. They sold a shares that was not worth more than 8 naira for us at 28 naira per unit of shares. So we all bought the shares, and after some time, all the shares just crash. So a lot of us lose almost 20 naira per unit of shares. However, don't be discouraged. Look for shares that are very cheap and the companies are performing very well. Invest in them before people know about them. Particularly some shares of insurance companies. People don't want to move near them, but they are very cheap and they pay heavy dividends. Shares in oil and gas now, there are a lot of activities going on there. Now, if you want to buy shares, it is time for us to get involved in all this downstream oil sector business. We can get our shares there. Then there are other agricultural companies, because everybody is talking about rice in Nigeria today. So there are companies that are coming, even from abroad, to come and establish a public limited liability company here. And they are going to issue out their shares. Let us participate. Before we know it, we are going to make tremendous money from it. Then we have other papers. We have treasury bill, we have bond, we have mutual funds, and these are financial instruments that we can just determine how much our interest rate will be, our returns on the investment will be. Let us go there and invest. They will tell you, at our bank, this is how much we give as returns. If you give us 10 million, we are going to give you a return of 17%. And they will even give you upfront. But we should beware of some outrageous return so that we will not fall victim of another CBES. Because when investment is too lucrative, we have to be very careful. There is a need for us to be very careful so that we will not fall victim of those people. So then there are other investment portfolio that we can also buy in investment world. We can also leverage with people. We can use our cooperative. There are some people that will tell you, how much am I earning? That will guarantee me to do an investment. Investment is not only meant for rich people. Join your cooperative. Little drops makes an ocean. Put 10,000 there today. Take it away from beer. Take it away from pepper soup. Because if you don't take it to cooperative, you will use it to buy beer or cooperative or pepper soup. And a plate of pepper soup now, I think it's about 5,000 or 10,000. So a plate of pepper soup for 5,000 naira, if you use it to buy block, 5,000 naira will buy about 4 blocks. At the current rate now, it will buy about 4 blocks. So instead of you wasting it on something frivolous, save it in your cooperative. By the time you are ready to borrow times 3 of what you have there, borrow the money and invest it in whatever dividend or investment you want to use it for. I'm deeply sorry for this thing. It is my phone that disappointed me today. I don't know what went. Yeah, it will the time I continue. Am I continue? Sorry. To the time. Okay, good. So, cooperative community investment, I've mentioned that. The next one, please. Yes. Let us look at these two case studies. Case A, Olawalemi, is a middle-level salary earner. He's earning 500,000 naira per month as income. And what is income? Income is your residual money after tax, after every other deductions have been taken away, and your spiritual income obligations too. Because we have obligations to other obligations in our church that will make God to be happy with us. After we have deducted all those things, whatever that is remaining becomes our income. So that income is what Mr. Olawalemi is earning. Then we have case B, Bolademi, our pastor, is a multi-skilled, multi-dimensional pastor premium. Because he's a pastor, he's also an entrepreneur. So we can call him pastor premium. So pastor is earning 5 million naira maybe per annum too. We will see how both can build monumental income over 5 to 10 years using real estate plus dividend strategy. Next slide, please. Yes. The first one, Olawalemi buy a mini flat at Mowe for 6 million naira. He bought that flat at 6 million naira. And you will agree with me that if I buy a flat for 6 million naira at Mowe this year, in the next 5 years, how much will that flat cost? If I buy it 6 million naira this year, in the next 5 years, it will not remain 6 million again. It will not remain 6 million. It will have had value. Now, let's agree the man does not even want to sell it. And the rent is giving out 250,000 naira a year as rent. Then, after 2 years, he reinvests the income, which is 250,000 naira per annum, plus rent income to buy land, like Pastor did. He decided to go and buy a small chunk of land along Badagry Sokoto Highway. Because he knows in the next few years, development will come to that area. Now, 5 years later, he bought another one, 2 rental apartments. And he is still collecting 250 naira per month. So meaning that from those 2 rental apartments, he will collect 600 naira per year, giving inflation and increment in the value of that property. So we'll be earning 600 naira per year. So he's having 50,000 naira as income per month. So if that person is collecting 500,000 naira and he has additional 50 naira income, well, how much is the income now? 550,000. Now, legacy investment requires consistency. You must be consistent in investing. Consistencies in investing. With time, with small capital, you will be able to build a passive legacy income. The next one. Now, Olawalemi is now investing that 50,000 naira extra income. He did not say, I've arrived. I want to spend the way I like. So he consistently investing that gains using some apps on the internet. If you don't know how to use them, you can contact a stockbroker. We can contact a security investment officer. There are bands all over the places. One that is a child of God. Contact them and tell them, I want to be investing 50,000 naira every month. They will open a trust fund for you by which you can be saving that money, and they will be adding the cumulative income annually for you. After 5 years, at 10 portfolios is now 3.6 million. Someone that started with 500,000 naira income, his portfolio has now increased to 3.6 million. So now, annual dividend of that 360,000 naira again, income that he has got of 3.6 million of 10%. He has invested this and is now collecting dividend of 30 naira again, 30,000 naira on it again. Plus the first one he has done is now making 80,000 naira monthly income that is having as addition to his regular income. Next slide. Now, this is the bigger entrepreneur. Bolademi has money to invest 3 million naira in 2 dividend-focused ETFs. Invest in that business and build a saltless studio apartment with 5 million in a hotspot location. So he combined two. One, a real estate investment, and the other one, a dividend strategy investment. So this man started big. He faces it squarely. Now, he gave the apartment to estate agents that I'll build this apartment. Please help me continue to manage it. What I'm interested in is my income. And make sure you maintain that house properly. I don't want any complaint from you. So that you'll be able to face another business he's doing. He has outsourced that business of managing the place to another person, while he can go and sleep, and that person will be working for him. Now, monthly net income from real estate. The real estate he has bought, that is 5 million naira estate, is making dividend of 120K on monthly basis. 120,000 naira on monthly basis. Then the dividend income is making 25,000 naira on monthly basis, and it's still growing. So the two investments, they are bringing in money on regular basis. So if this person decided to do it for almost 30 years, and he consistently investing the money, before he knows it, he also will become a billionaire. He will become a billionaire. So entrepreneur can deploy capital faster, but still need structure. Entrepreneur, you can deploy your capital easily, but you have to be watchful. In accounting, we will call something drawing. There is a limit you can withdraw account of your business. The only money you can withdraw from is your profit that you have made from your business activities. But if you are fond of withdrawing from your business, anytime somebody comes for personality, you wanted to pay your children's school fees, you say, oh yeah, go and meet my secretary, go and meet my accountant, tell them to send so and so on. Before you know it, your capital fund will be taken out of that business. So it is not your money. So it has to be structured. You don't take your business money to do frivolities. Next slide, please. Think 30 years. As I've said, think 30 years and look at the compound income. Look at how much that money has risen to. And look at and invest with purpose and not pressure. Just invest at your, in fact, it becomes an habit. For those people who can speculate on laptop, you can even monitor the trend of stock in the stock trading market, and you call your stockbroker, please sell this share for me. I've seen it that has increased. Sell it for me. Next tomorrow, you instruct him, go and buy another share that is cheaper. Before you know it, you can be making 1 million naira on daily basis, if you know the trick. But if you are not careful, at times that 1 million naira can reduce your capital drastically. It is very, very important. We have to be very careful with that. Diversify across time zones, short-term cash flows versus long-term legacy. So short time, there are short time cash flow, like time deposit. You have some money with you. You go to your manager. Manager, I want to deposit this money for 6 months. How much can you give me? You negotiate. He gives you the money. In the next 6 months, you move the money to another fund, which is a long-time legacy fund. Through that, you consistently building your legacy. Next slide, please. Now, where to start no matter the level. It doesn't matter our level. I've mentioned that earlier on. You don't have to be a professor, like Professor Ayamolowo, to be a good investor, or Professor Awoleye. We live in the same compound. Permit me if I don't, we know how to call ourselves prof. So you don't have to be a professor. Don't wait until you become a professor. Start small. When you start small, with G factor, with God factor on your side, with your only life that you are living, and with your mindset that God knows that this person is out to build an impactful kingdom for him, God will now continue to assist you, and you continue to grow. So we have to co-invest, and so on and so forth. Next slide. Now, there are common mistakes some people make. Before I leave the vehicle, in pension industry, some people don't even talk about pension when they are working. And this affects some of our artisans. People who are self-employed, they don't even work for their retirement. They depend on their children. That let me just train my children. When my children become somebody in life, they will now be giving me pension. At times, your children might not have time for you. They might not have time for you. So it is important. There is a new policy in place now that allows individuals to have a pension plan. You can start your pension plan. And the beauty of it is that you can even invest and withdraw. You can invest and withdraw. So that's what we call micro pension. We can visit any of the pension fund administrators in Nigeria today. Tell them you are a businessman. You want to establish a micro pension for myself. Please, how do I go about it? So you now begin to save with them. Believe me, you and me, if you save 5 million naira within 5 years, in the next 7 years, that 5 million naira will rise to 12 million naira. That is the power of compound interest. So if you do micro pension, you can prepare a legacy pension for yourself when you grow old. Because the time will come when you will not be able to go on that artisanal work again. Even if you are riding Okada, the time will come that you will not be able to do Okada as a job again. You will be so old, your muscle will be weak, and you will be out of business. So, but when you have a pension scheme in place, that pension will now come back and be paying you in your old age. And you can even transmute it to an annuity fund. That one will even pay you till when you die. For those people who are working, there is what we call voluntary pension contributions. Anybody that is in a structured formal market, there's what we call voluntary contributions. When your employer is deducting pension for you, you are also likely going to have some surpluses that you want to tell your employer that, please, I want to be adding this money. If your employer is deducting 40,000 naira from you on a monthly basis, please ensure that you had 50,000 on your own. That 50,000 naira, you will be surprised. When you retire, that 50 naira contribution might even be more than what your employer is contributing for you. And by the time you add it, you will become a super rich. Now, there are common mistakes. When we are doing real estate, there are some pitfalls there. I've just explained one that happens to me. The people that sold the land for me, they are the one that wanted to buy me. When they realize that the land has appreciated so much, and they just do abracadabra and say, I must sell that land by fire, by thunder, and I cannot sell it without their input. So whenever we want to get into real estate, there are two ways for it. It's either you go solo or you go through REIT. That is Real Estate Investment Trust Fund. You can ask your security professionals, please, I want to buy shares, I want to buy bond in real estate business. And real estate is thriving very well in Lekki, in Banana Island now. Everywhere in Lagos, along that Lekki corridor, to Dangote Refinery, to Ekpe, real estate is thriving now. So you can meet your investment advisor that, please, I want to buy in real estate business. Please guide me. If you buy it before you call Jack, in the next few years, that investment will boom. Boom. It will boom. So most of us don't know about those costs. There are some costs. If you buy land and you did not do certificate of occupancy, or you did not have red copy of surveyor plan, there's tendency that land might be recovered from you by the people that sell it to you. So we must look at all those. Then there are costs of inviting a lawyer. It is always important that you must bring a lawyer into it so that you will not be duped. So all those costs, most people don't look at it when they are going into all this business. It is important. Then ignoring taxes, transaction charges in straw. Now with the new policy in place, many people will not be able to evade tax. So whatever we are doing, always factor in the tax component. We must always factor in, like the voluntary contribution I mentioned the other time, and micro pension. If you withdraw from the amount less than 5 years, government will ask you to pay tax. But if you withdraw outside 5 years or after 5 years, you will be given a tax exception. So government will not collect tax from you. But if you withdraw it less than 3 years, less than 5 years, government will ask you to pay tax. Then investing emotionally instead of strategically. There is no friend in business world. Your interest should be your goal. You are not interested in emotion here. Your interest is your goal. So don't invest because of emotion. Don't say because my friend is there, I want to be there. You are going to get it wrong. Be yourself because you know where you are going. Not documenting or tracking passive income. At times, some people don't care about passive income. When they see it, they just spend it. They are not keeping track and not knowing what. In fact, if we recorded what we have spent on foodstuff from the beginning of this year to date, we'll be marvel how we have been able to survive this period. So the same thing for passive income. Most people don't record it. When they see it as a bonus and they just spend it frivolously. It is a wrong business strategy. God will help us. The next one. Faith in financing, align values. So your money should reflect your beliefs. Our money should reflect our beliefs. It is not good for a child of God to engage in a lottery business, in a gambling business, in a business that is not in consonance with the principle of God. It's not. So a child of God must be very careful the kind of business you invest your money on. It is important. Invest in what will not compromise your peace or purpose. Don't invest on things that will compromise your peace. Those people that went to borrow 10 million to invest in CBES, I'm sure some of them are in fact, I pray, I'm sure most of them will not even have problem tomorrow because I don't know how they are going to get that money out. If you go to bank to borrow money and invest it in CBES, and the bank people will be charging bank interest rate, and CBES is not ready to release your money that is trapped, then that person will go down. So always be very careful in the kind of investment that we get ourselves involved in. If it is too sweet to be good, please don't go near it. If the rate of return is too sweet, be very careful. Shine your face very well. Because there are some people that will tell you, we are going to give you a return of 50% on your money. That return, you have to be very careful. I'm not saying you cannot get them, but you have to be very careful and shine your face. Ask, with these fund courses, not just comfort, do courses, fund courses. There are some people, for example, Gideon Foundation, they said every 3% of our profits from our company, we want it to invest it in the printing of Bible for the spreading of word of God. And because of that, God has been blessing those organizations. Organizations behind Gideon Foundations. God has been blessing them because they have been marking 3% every now and then to fund that cause. There are some of us that say, if I'm blessed, I will open an orphanage. I will be taking care of children of less privileged people. And because of that line of thought, God will bless that cause. That's why a lot of companies, organizations in America, they have legacy up to today. Schlumberger, Rockefeller, and so on. Bill Gates and the rest of them, they are still waxing stronger and stronger because they have cause, they are funding that is pleasing to God. Then ask, will this investment matter in eternity? So ask yourself, Matthew 25:34, when I'm poor, did you give me food? Next one. Participants, reflect and jot down. What is one legacy income goal I can pursue in the next 6 months? Let us ask ourselves, what is the one legacy income that we can pursue in the next 6 months? Let us ask ourselves and just sit down. Then what is stopping me? Mindset. Is it the mindset that I have? Is it I don't have the money? Is it I don't have the right mentorship? If those are the things that are preventing you from investing in legacy income, there are ways to it. Go out, build a relationship, as I've been mentioned, build a relationship, go to people that understand this thing, and be able to surmount those problems. What can I start doing with what I have today? So look at ourselves, examine ourselves, what can we start doing? Apart from those people that have invested, the people Yoruba will say, Owo itolowo, owo gbodo tolowo. You must continue to invest until you die. That is when you stop investing. John Morrow, the big newspaper magnate in America, still keep on investing. They keep on investing. As old as he is, he's still keeping on investing every day. Next slide, please. Build assets. That is recap. We are saying build assets that generate income. Don't build liability. Don't use your money to buy liability. When you build a house, personal house, and you build 20 rooms that only you and your wife are staying, you have wasted that asset. But if you build a home for rental purposes, for real estate, you have created a legacy income that will outlive you. Because no person can finish up the lifespan